What is happening? Hope everyone is doing well. We have a Starbucks Grande Blonde Latte. So I want to chat about automate, delegate, remove. Today, I want to chat about mindset. Today, I want to chat about becoming a lifelong learner. Today, we are talking about sales processes. So we're going to entitle these live sessions, Coffee with Cody. Hello and good evening. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're staying safe out there. If you're having a great evening, throw a one in the comments section below. Got some people on the live. Super excited about that. Today, I'm going to chat about 3 costly sales mistakes. If I am showing up in your feed right now, and you don't know who I am, my name is Cody May from Studio PTBO. I do a daily live called Coffee with Cody, where really the goal is to provide massive value back to the entrepreneurial community, to help them with marketing and mindset knowledge, help them build, grow, and scale their business online. Hope you are having a great evening. Today, I want to chat about 3 costly sales mistakes. I wrote a letter to a letter. I wrote a letter to or email, whatever you want to call it, to our email list the other day, and I want to chat about sales mistakes and how to fix these things. I spent 10 years in the telecom industry managing teams. Constantly top 10% constantly at the top 10% of cell phone sales, men across Canada, and a company called Future Shop, which then transitioned over to Best Buy. Sales has really been in my blood. When I was 18, 19 years old, I got I was 18, my first sales commission job, and I just absolutely fell in love with sales, fell in love with the art of sales. And I got to transition into entrepreneurship to run really this company. And now I'm building a global marketing agency with a sales team that is located all across North America. And today I want to chat about some 3 things that, and I just really want to go through this. I want to go through this email that I sent out the other day. And the first thing that I'm finding a lot of businesses aren't necessarily focused on is lead quality. One of the mistakes we made really early on within marketing is not focused. We weren't focused enough on the offer. And you probably heard me say this before, but no amount of marketing can fix a broken sales process, which is why we're having this conversation, but also no amount of traffic or no amount of people that you send to a landing page or send to an email drip campaign can fix a crappy offer. We're finding that just by simply tweaking the offer to make it something a little bit more irresistible, we're getting a lot better results. So I would love to know, if anyone in the live, what specific business are you in? Let me know in the comment section below what business you're in, because that'll help me kind of contextualize the conversation that we're going to have today about sales and maybe I can contextualize a little bit of what I'm saying. So really the big thing that we do when we're running ads, obviously, is we have an irresistible offer. In order to create better quality leads, there's so many things you can do, like add in multiple questions in the form, like add in disqualifying questions, which is what we do with forms. Generally, we look to work with entrepreneurs that are business coaches, consultants that are selling high ticket programs and services. So there's this thing in a program we use called JotForm, and JotForm essentially allows us to disqualify people based on their answers and not actually send them to the landing page to book a call. So there's so many different ways that you can actually generate quality leads. And generally with our call center, with the Studio PTBO call center, which I chatted about yesterday, is generally when we have agents that actually call on behalf of the business owner. Generally, we'll ask them a series of 5 to 10 questions to qualify them, to see whether or not they are a quality lead. And it just creates a better quality conversation for the entrepreneur. It's one of those things where it's like, obviously you need a great offer, but then you have to have some qualifying questions. And then from there, your sales process takes over, which we'll talk about. But a sales mistake that people can make is they're just not focused enough on lead quantity. They're so focused on lead they're so focused on lead quantity, which is, both are important in my opinion. You need a steady path of leads. And the really interesting thing, and I'll say this about lead quality as well, is I posted something on social yesterday that essentially was a study that was done that said 81% of buying decisions are made on the 5th contact or more. So for example, we just signed a real estate agent who we contacted 14 times before they decided to work with us. So what I'm trying to get at is it's a mixture of both lead quality and lead quantity. There has to be both, and there's different ways to get better lead quantity, such as using chat bots, or just ensuring that your messaging is clear in your ads as well. And maybe it's just directly calling out your target audience, saying, it's like, if you want to work with business owners, say, hey, business owners, and then whatever your offer is in the body copy as well. So that's another thing. And I kind of already alluded to the fact that your appointment setters can essentially, not only can you have conditional logic on forms, like I was talking about Jot form, you can have appointment setters that essentially disqualify people. So before they get on the call with you, you can essentially have them fill out a survey of some sort. So that's one way that you can actually increase your sales conversion ratios, by simply adding in these few extra steps to make sure you're talking to qualified leads. But at the same time, be really careful with the amount of qualifying questions you add, because the more qualifying questions you add, the higher cost per book call that is going to increase. For example, we were talking with one of our clients who wanted to add in a step saying, are you making over $1 million a year? But they want to work with all business owners. And it's like, well, if that's a disqualifying question and you only want to work with business owners making over $1 million, you're disqualifying 96% of the population of business owners, because only 4% of business owners in North America make over $1 million. And they quickly changed their answer. They don't want to go that route. So make sure that you have a way to obviously disqualify people, but also be aware of how you disqualify people in your sales process. So the next step is just really know sales process. Like I talk with so many entrepreneurs, so many business coaches, so many consultants, so many realtors that just they have an idea of what their sales process is, but they don't necessarily know what it is. They don't have it mapped out in an SOP, which means standard operating procedure. They don't have a way to actually like take people from point A to point B to point C. It's like that entire process needs to be mapped out. And the reason that I say that is it's just like you entrepreneur, you business owner, you business coach, wherever you're at in life, or even if you're thinking about getting into sales, for example, you need to have a clear identified path for how you're actually going to take clients through that pathway of sales. And one of my favorite people in the world, Alex Sharfin, talks about this a lot, about the 5 key functions of growing a business. And I've alluded to that: the lead generation, lead nurture, the conversion, the delivery, retention, resell, upsell. I'm not going to get too much into that. If you want access to this document that I essentially I wrote about the other day, just throw report in the comment section and I'll get you access to that. If you're listening back to the replay, just send me an email to cody@studioptbo.com with the word report as the headline, and I'll get you access to the this long report that I essentially wrote the other day. But really, what I encourage every entrepreneur we work with, or every real estate agent that we work with, is to really map out every single step. It's like we have, like, to give you an example, I'm going to take you step by step what our process is. We literally map out every single step of our sales process, and we're constantly refining and tweaking our sales process, just like an athlete would. An athlete watches their game tapes back. They take a look at what they did right, what they did wrong, and then they fix things based on what's working and what's not working. But they need to have a plan. They need to have a game plan, which is why you need a process, entrepreneur, business owner. You need to have a plan for every single step of the way in order to actually fix things. Unless you have a process and you have data, you can't fix things. You need some sort of data. You need to be able to track these things as well. So that's the other thing I'll mention as well, is tracking all of that into this as well. That's another costly sales mistake, is people don't track things. They don't record their calls. So really, what our SOP with our sales process is, a call gets booked with our business development team. From there, generally the business development team will do pre-call research. And then the next step and the next thing they'll do is they'll do a discovery call. In that discovery call, they'll ask a series of questions that essentially will either qualify or disqualify them. If they go to a second call, we generally have an automated setup system that as soon as they book that second call, they get another email and text message confirming the call, giving them a bunch of information, send them case studies and all that stuff. And generally there's the reminders that we have set up prior to the first call. But between the first and the second call that we do, we have some stuff that gets automated, and that wasn't automated before. So what was happening prior to literally today is our business development team was actually doing that manually, and it was taking some time. So we figured out a way to automate that. So that's another key lesson, is like try to find ways to automate your sales process as well. After that, they go to the second call, and they have scripts and everything that they go through to make sure that we cover everything. And like, I like scripts. I think that everyone should use scripts. It doesn't mean you have to read it T for T. It's just like, it's more of a guiding process than anything. And that's where the structure of like the process, I think, is more important than the script. It's like, where do I go next? If I get lost in the process of actually presenting the sale, where do I go next? And I think you need to have that really mapped out. And that's what I mean by no sales process. It's like, what is the next step in the sales process? I think is more important than the script per se. And then once they agree to work with us, obviously we grab their information, their credit card, they fill out a job form, and then it automates our onboarding. So that's what I highly encourage you is, like, if you're in high ticket sales, you're doing business coaching, consulting, you're an entrepreneur selling high ticket programs and services, you need to have a process for how you onboard clients from a sales process, but also to onboarding. That's a whole other conversation. I highly, highly implore you. It's a mistake we made really early on in our entrepreneurial journey, is we just didn't have enough processes, and it was so much guesswork, and guesswork or areas of gray are not good. Anytime you have any guesswork, I always say, or anytime there's any gray areas, create a process, create a system, have a clear understanding for where you go next. I had a client that we worked with just by simply tweaking their sales process and making sure that they never leave a call without booking a follow-up call, which brings me to my third point, is you aren't directing the conversation. You always want to make sure that whenever if you do a sales call, for example, and that's how you sell your thing, which is mainly what I'm talking to, generally high ticket entrepreneurs, business coaches, consultants. Generally, there's a sales process that they follow in order to sell their thing, especially if they're selling high ticket. You always want to make sure that you never leave that final call without booking your schedule, scheduling your follow-up call. So a lot of people are struggling in sales online. It's because they're not directing the conversation enough. I see this a lot with real estate agents. Like, a lot of real estate agents we work with, they rely so much on referrals that a lot of times when a client comes to them, they've already made up their decision, but the direction that they want to choose that realtor, which is fine, but 50% of all buying decisions happen online. So, online leads are a huge thing. Like, people are still picking up sales from online leads, but the direction and the way that you handle the conversation needs to have, you need to essentially explain your value. Like, why should I choose you? There's why should I choose you over anyone else? You need to create some sort of presentation. What's setting you apart? Is it just that you buy your home with me versus somebody else? There has to be that differentiating. And this goes for all high ticket sales. Why am I choosing your business coaching program over anyone else? For us, we guarantee 10 to 20 booked appointments. That's our guarantee. Love it or leave it. If we don't get you 10 to 20 appointments, I'm going to give you your money back. Just that simple. Or I'll work for free until we get the 10 to 20 booked appointments. So that would be the thing, coming back to you are directing the conversation, is like, just failure to direct the conversation, to have a process is one of the things that's holding people back from actually closing more online. And that's the more conversations that I have, even with our call center and with our business developer, when he just makes this one small change, and Janish, like our business developer, will tell you this, just making that one small change of directing the conversation more, and ensuring that there's a follow-up call booked. It's the small transitions, the transition moments. And even when I chat with our clients about the transition moments matter a lot in sales, and how you move from one element of the conversation to the next really matters, because it makes the prospect, it makes the person on the other end feel safe, and that, like, especially if you're selling a business coaching program, it's like, if you can't even figure out what the next step is for the client to get them into another call with you, like, how are they going to trust you in the sense of getting them into your program or into your service? They need to feel safe, and you need to have a clear process laid out in order to do that. And that's really my encouragement for you today, is map out what your process looks like. There are 3 costly sales mistakes that are holding people back from closing more leads online. And that's really the encouragement, is follow up. Man, there's more than 3. There's also follow up, like I mentioned here. A lot of things that I chatted about over the last 14 minutes. I thank you so much for tuning in. Another episode of Coffee with Cody. I really do thank you for your attention. Hope you have a great week. If you're listening back on iTunes or Spotify, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. If you're listening on the live, you're listening back to a replay, Miley asks, share this with a friend, family member, entrepreneur, business owner that might find this useful, realtor, anyone selling high ticket programs and service. Share this with them, tag them in the comment section below. Just really on a mission to help a ton of entrepreneurs, just generate more sales online. That's really my goal. So hope you have a great day. Thanks for tuning in. Have a great evening, and we'll chat with you soon.